What's happening, everyone? It's Monday, May 31st, 2021. You're tuned into 2.5 Hoopers, Sean Bradley's favorite basketball podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Lehman. With me, I have Josh Rhodes, the Alfred to my Batman.
The Alfred to your Batman's actually not here. I was going to say something about Sean Bradley, but you had to say that.
And no George Martin today. He's in Texas doing a lot of legal things. All of them legal. So we have J Sports Podcast, Josh Nowakowski filling in. How you doing, Josh?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
You know, we're all right. You're the honorary half hooper. Someone has to do it. So you are for this pod. You're the half hooper.
I can get my inner George in.
You can stomach it? Okay. I heard you got some stats. I pray to God it's a plus minus, so it's a really inner George moment. But we'll see. But yeah, happy to have you guys. Happy to have all listeners here. Hi, Jake. I mean, you got to shout out Jake Arthouse. I know he'll listen. We got a good show. We're going to cover the whole 11-game NBA weekend. And it should be under an hour. We'll see. Let's get this intro going. The Hawks showed the Knicks who their daddy is, and then multiple teams timed the series 10 into some important Game 5s. You know what Magic Johnson says? The most important games in a series are Game 3 and Game 5. Everyone's like, what about Game 7, Magic? He doesn't know. But Game 5s are going to be, we're going to preview those.
Magic simply doesn't know what Game 7s are.
He simply wins before. Yeah, remember, if you guys like what you share, make sure to follow us at TH Hoopers, Instagram and Twitter. Drop a comment. Frankie, I'm still waiting. You will simply not be on the podcast. J Sports is on the podcast. We didn't drop a comment. So if you got a question, next one, drop one. Who cares? Let's get right into this. We start with the Miami Heat. They're gone fishing. Bucks complete the sweep on the Heat, 120-103 on Saturday to get the victory. I mean, it was inevitable. I had Bucks in 5. They surprised me even then, and they sweep the Heat. Josh, I know you had the Heat. Rhodes, I should say. Rhodes, you had the Heat, winning in 6, I believe. Where's your head at, man? How you doing?
Pain. It is just pain. I want to say that the Bucks are a different team, but the Heat were just so bad. Like, every game they got worse. And like the Bucks did what they were supposed to do, and Giannis had a good series. He didn't try to do too much. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday exceeded my expectations for what I thought they would do in the playoffs.
Bryn Forbes, friend of the show.
Yeah, Bryn Forbes outscored Jimmy Butler. 60 to 50.
Dang it!
Oh, that was the stat. Well, I had a mental breakdown when I found that one. I was not happy about that. But I don't know. Like the Heat just got worse every single time and every single game. We got one good half of playoff Jimmy Butler in the entire series. Guy is horrible. There's not really much else to say. I mean, the Bucks did what they're supposed to. The Heat lowered their standards so much. Heat culture is like they need to like relocate to Georgia with the culture that they brought to the playoffs. So unfortunate.
Yeah, one thing before I get to Nowakowski, I want to get some shout outs when he has these blowouts. Axel Tupain got some minutes this one, a minute and 8 seconds. Shout out Axel. Nowakowski, what'd you take from this game? What'd you take from the series?
From this game, I mean, the Heat were up at halftime, if I am correct. Yeah, they were up at halftime for the first time, and I think the series, and second half was just awful. Bam had a good game, but games 1 through 3, he wasn't being aggressive on offense. He wasn't. I mean, if you look at the difference between last year and this year, he was being aggressive on offense, taking jumpers. He wasn't really doing much of that this series, and Jimmy Butler disappeared. Tyler Hero wasn't shooting great. This Cancun on 3, I guess, for the Heat. I mean, and I said it in my podcast that if the Bucks can get past the Heat, they're going to the finals. I had the Heat in 7, so I was incorrect as well. But now I'm on the boat of the Bucks are going to the finals.
And it seems like that's a lot of people's opinions. They get past the first round, they're championship bound. They proved everything. I'm one of the few people I know in the middle where I have Bucks beating the Heat. I mean, beating the Nets, but then losing to Philly just because I think Philly's a better version of the Bucks. They just match up very well. Yeah. But I ask this every time. I'll get to both of you, but I'll start with Rhodes. Was this a successful season for the Miami Heat?
No. Not on the slightest. They were
Well, it seems
supposed
like
to
you
do
both
better.
said no, so I'll let you guys kind of dialogue this if you want to do it that way.
They were supposed to do my simple reasoning was they were supposed to do better, and as unfortunate, they got the fortunate matchup of the Bucks, a team that they've played before, a team that they've mentally dominated, and they weren't able to capitalize off it. They had a rough start. Everybody was struggling, and it seemed like they were finally picking up the pieces. For when Jimmy Butler missed time and they were missing injuries, people were struggling. It seems like they were all finally clicking at the right time. They slipped up a little bit and then they fell off a cliff. I don't think this is a successful season for the Heat because they had so much opportunity to do more and they decided against it because they thought they had a chance, and they clearly didn't because they got absolutely obliterated by the Bucks.
Nowakowski, any opinion on that?
I agree with all of it. I mean, if you can look at it at the beginning of the season, yes, it was unsuccessful. With everything they went through, I still think they should have won at least a game here. I mean, I thought they should have gone. I mean, if they get out in the second round, I'll say it was a semi-successful season. No Victor Oladipo, but really being swept by the Bucks, I can't. I don't see how this was a successful season for Miami.
Did game one set the tone for the series? If it goes the Heat's way, is this a different series, or was that just a fluke game and then the Bucks figured out games 2 through 4?
I think if they win that game, maybe this series could go 6 or 7. But I mean, the Bucks just dominated.
Yeah, and the one thing, I mean, me and George were begging for it. Giannis knew when to defer, which just shows that the Heat have my number. They don't have Drew's number. They don't have Chris's number. So I'm gonna get 15 assists in this close game. They don't have
Bryn Forbes' number apparently.
Friend of the show, Bryn Forbes was hitting everything they put in front of him. It was embarrassing, honestly.
Oh,
what's up?
Sorry. One last thing, because I'm assuming we're gonna transition soon because the series is over. I don't know if we talked about it last pod because I don't think it happened or was announced yet. DiVincenzo's out for the rest of the playoffs. He's kind of their chaser, especially off screens. And we look at the Nets. We got a lot of Joe Harris's, Bruce Brown's, guys that like to run off screens. Not great screens by Blake Griffin, but screens nonetheless. So that leaves the Bucks with, I believe, one super strong primary or perimeter defender. Middleton's good, but when you're going against Kyrie, Harden, and Durant, that's kind of a big task, and not having DiVincenzo, I think, is going to hurt them significantly, a lot more than people think it's going to.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to hurt them a lot, but they do have kind of, I guess, baby version of DiVincenzo, and that's Pat Connaughton. He's decent.
Guy.
Yeah, he's like a thick, trunky coastal kid. He's like Sam Darnold. Does he got a Kyle Lowry on him, but he's not really a chaser like DiVincenzo. But I mean, everyone on this team can really defend. But yeah, with that, I mean, I guess Chase hit on the nose because they have guys like PJ Tucker, Connaughton, obviously like Drew Holiday and stuff like that. But all like real chasers, you got to put on like a Joe Harris. So that's a good point there. I don't think it'll hurt them too much, but he's not just some guy. Easy plug and play replacement.
And also, they're like second leading rebounder.
Yeah, he gets boards. Yeah, and he's also, I mean, he's perfect 3-and-D. He was kind of developing a pump fake drive to the basket type of thing too. He still looked kind of lost when he would do it, but he was expanding his game, and it does suck that he's kind of out. But maybe Bryn Forbes can fill that role because I mean he's kind of the same size as DiVincenzo, and he'll be getting more minutes there. So maybe he'll be chasing. But I think it was probably Connaughton.
Yeah. Oh, so we can assume that Giannis is going to be guarding KD, correct?
Yes.
Did he in the regular season games?
Yeah,
so. For sure, yeah.
But I don't know who's going to be guarding Giannis on Brooklyn's end. If I remember correctly, he did really good against them.
He did great, and they had Blake Griffin on him.
Ooh.
Yeah. Someone went out for the net. Oh, Uncle JG went out for the Nets. He's going to be out there's no timetable on that. So that's going to be an interesting. I think it's kind of, if I could say, it evens out with no Connaughton and Uncle JG. They're both pretty important defenders there. Yeah. So So I think that's kind of evens out. But yeah, it's going to be a fun preview when we get to it. When the Nets finally do end up taking care of the Celtics, they're a little pesky. We'll get to that later. Clips Mavs played on Friday and Sunday, and the Clips did the impressive winning both by double digits in Dallas. Series now tied heading back to LA. Great game. Both games were almost identical besides the stat sheet on the Mavs side. For the Clippers side, it's Kawhi and PG are going to be your offense. Everyone else fall in line. Hit your jump shots. And guys like Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson, they finally found their footing. I told Rose this last night. Ty Lue had a weird ass quote before they went to Dallas. He was like, role players play better on the road. And that's never been the case. It's always role players play better at home. But no, like I said, the Reggie Jacksons, the Marcus Morrises, even the Terrence Manns, George's guy, they're hitting their shots in Dallas. And I guess that just proves when the Clippers have no pressure on them, they really do perform. As far as the Mavs side, Luka had 44 the first game, got no help, and Luka had 19 the second game, got no help. So yeah, blowouts there. Luka battling a nerve, I believe, in his neck. Said he felt a whole lot better game 4. Looked like he was battling at game 3. Game 4 it really affected his jumper. He went 1 for 7 from 3. We'll get to the injury later, but I want to give some Clipper praise here since George isn't here. Nowakowski, what have you seen to see? Because I believe we had, I think almost half the media was like, series is over. Maybe 5, maybe 6. They're going to get swept. Who knows? Josh Rose didn't believe that, but I'll start with you because you were more I know you don't love the Clippers, but you like giving them their due props when they're needed. So just take me through what happened here. It's tied now, and it was not on Friday.
It's very simple. They're 3-point shooting on both sides. The Mavs were shooting 54% the first 2 games from 3. The last 2 games, it's been real low. And it's been Tim Hardaway isn't getting the points he was in games 1 and games 2. And it's just no support for Luka. Porzingis has fallen off a cliff after the first 2 games. But on the Clippers' praise, Marcus Morris, like you said, he's hitting his shots. Reggie Jackson hitting shots. Paul George playing great. And it's just it has looked like what it was in the regular season, where the Clippers were the best 3-point shooting team in the league, and it showed games 3 and games 4. It'll be interesting what happens in game 5, though. I don't know what's going to happen now because all the momentum is on the Clippers side, but we see when the Clippers have pressure, bad things happen. So now it's a series, so I'm interested what's going to happen game 5 in LA.
The home team has not won yet in this series. Home court means diddly squat. Josh, let's name a funny stat, and I'll let you kind of talk about this. Nicholas Batum starts at center. You pointed that out. That's just funny. And then they try to counter. We're going to put Boban in. He got 15 minutes, his first minutes of the whole series, and he played well, but they got blown out. But yeah, you had the Clippers, I think, taking both these games. You did very good on your weekend predictions on Friday's pod. We should pay you more. But, I mean, just – did they do what you thought they would?
I did say. I believe it was Tuesday's pod. I said the Mavs are going to take game 2, and the Clippers are going to win game 3 and 4, and the Clippers are going to beat the Mavs by more in game 4 than game 3.
Can you stop flexing?
I don't know.
What they do right?
I simply don't understand what happened. Josh hits it kind of on the nose with the 3-point shooting. But another thing that I've noticed is they were playing Zubac a lot of opening minutes in game 1 and 2, and Luka took so much advantage. The Mavs would go up like 20 points in the first quarter. Started Nick Batum today, or not today. Today.
Yeah,
Sunday, I guess.
4 steals, 2 blocks for Nick Batum at center.
Yeah, because they realize that Kristaps Porzingis simply doesn't have any will to go in the paint. He did play a decent game today. I believe he's their second leading scorer with 18, right? So nothing. He probably played the best on the Mavericks.
I think 14 of those were in the first 6 minutes too. He kind of disappeared second half.
Yeah, second half.
He disappeared. Josh hits it on the nose also with the Tim Hardaway thing. I mean, George and I kind of were praising the bench guys, saying like if you give them the open shots, they'll hit them. They have not been hitting them. My least favorite player in the universe, Dorian Finney-Smith, is doing Dorian Finney-Smith things with like 3 points and not guarding Kawhi Leonard, so he's absolutely useless. And again, Kawhi Leonard, PG, they do their thing. Paul George didn't shoot too well in the second half, but Kawhi's just been on fire. He's looking like the Raptors Kawhi Leonard that was going to come and bring the Clippers a championship in these last 2 games. I think the Clippers will take game 5. I think this will kind of rotate. I think the Mavs have to win game 6. It will be a do or die for them there, and I think they take it, and I think Clippers close the series out. But this is a very, very, very important part of what we didn't see last year. Or now we've seen them ahead of series. Sorry to ramble, but we've seen them ahead and choke under pressure. Now they got pushed in a corner, and the big concern was like, oh, they're just gonna fall because they have pressure and they're not gonna handle it. They are right back in it.
But you have them winning Game 5, and now you would because my Clippers in 6 is looking great right now. You would think, oh, they have the momentum, they'll rattle off 2 more in a row, but that's not the case with these Clippers. And so you have them winning Game 5 even with all this momentum on their side. Now the media finally back on the Clippers side.
I think that they'll win Game 5 just because now that they have like a firm foundation. The Mavericks are still kind of struggling. As much as I don't like the Clippers, they have a decent fan base, even though it's at Staples. Everybody wants to watch playoff basketball. We thought it would help the Mavericks. It didn't. I think that they take advantage of it, and then I think it's just whoever's at home court wins for the rest of the series. So
I'll bridge in here now, Akowski. Rhodes brought up a good point. What do you take of Ty Lue's first real coaching adjustment I've seen since he got hired, besides just telling everyone let's love each other and trying to fix the chemistry? He puts Nick Batum at center, and Josh makes a great point. I mean, yeah, Porzingis, he can shoot over anyone. So what's the difference if you put 7-foot Zubac out there and risk Luka getting the switch and shouting he can't guard me for the 4th time in a row that quarter? Just put a 5-man lineup of straight switches. And then one other thing, Rondo, 20 minutes this game, 7-5, 4, 1 steal, 1 block. Playoff Rondo might finally be here. Just close us out here as far as what you've seen from the Clippers.
Yeah, you brought up the Batum starting at center. I mean, just the Clippers. I think what they did this game is dare anyone to make besides Luka to hit their shots, and besides Porzingis in the beginning, nobody was really hitting their shots this game. But I do like the adjustment Ty Lue made. It did show the difference between him and Doc of last year, because Doc didn't really make changes last year against Denver when they blew the 3-1 lead. And, you saw Ty Lue. He made changes. He adapted. And it's really paid off. And I think in Game 5, you're going to see the same starting lineup come out. Batum at the 5 is my guess.
Does anyone want to, as I take us home here, Paul George was complaining about Doc Rivers, and that's why he was bad. Paul George playing pretty damn good in these playoffs, offensively at least, and we had a tough second half in Game 4. What was it, Doc, playing him like Ray Allen?
I'm gonna just say 2 things. The Sixers are literally the first seed with Doc Rivers. Second, Paul George needs to just shut up and put the ball in the basket. Every time he opens his mouth, does nobody good. Not even him. He just needs to be quiet, play defense, and shoot the ball. He was doing the little thing. I haven't seen him do it in so long. Like even an MVP Paul George. This is like Indiana Paul George, where he does like he does like the Tracy McGrady thing. He does like a double between the legs and a little hezzy, pull up water every time. And then he has to open his mouth. If he just stops talking and plays basketball, my goodness.
Well, I think he might be finally breaking this curse, because George said it. They had the good old-fashioned players-only meeting after Game 2, and Paul George. They won Game 3, and Paul George was like, "We figured it out." He always says that. Then he goes 5 for 20. But
he went 6 of 16. But Kawhi went 6 of 16. Kawhi went over 70%. Kawhi figured it out.
Can we talk about Kawhi? If he did Kawhi over 70% in both these games, shooting wise.
I think he's done 90% in the first half. Yeah, 90% in the first half.
He went 10 for 11 in Game 3 first half. Yeah.
Guess who's guarding him though?
Maxi Kleber.
Nope, Dorian Finney-Smith.
No, Maxi Kleber.
The most useless Maverick on the team right now, Dorian Finney-Smith.
Finney-Smith and Nicholas Batum led their team in minutes in Game 4. It's the 2 most important players battling it out. I'm all here for it. Moving on. That was enough Clipper talk, I think, for Jake. As far as the Mavs, though, I think we're in agreement. If Tim Hardaway Jr., Finney-Smith, Kleber's, Porzingis hit their shots, and Luka's net gets a little better, then this becomes a series. If it's not, the Clippers are – because no one can stop each other, but it seems like Mavs normally get into more cold spells than the Clippers do in this series. Clippers, I feel like, score every fucking possession. Oh, F-bomb. They score every possession. So, it's embarrassing what the Mavs are doing. I want to see the Clippers against a good defensive team, see if Kawhi can keep this up, which I think he can. Moving on. So, Hawks and Knicks played both their weekend games in the A. Shout out Quavo. Shout out Trae Young. Hawks won both by double digits. A lot of double digits, actually. I think both over plus 15. Take a commanding 3-1 lead.
First one.
11-19, yeah. So they take a 3-1 lead as it heads back to MSG. It seems like that the Hawks are just the better team, and I knew they had more talent, but I didn't know that the Knicks would be able to be stopped this easily. Julius Randle really has not found his touch, not over 50% any of these games. He's making it really tough to want to give him a max contract if you're James Dolan. I might actually agree with James Dolan on this one for the first time, I think, probably since 2003. But it's just tough to watch. And then I don't think Barrett's being aggressive enough just to start us off with the whole combo here. 8 for 15 here. It seems like he's the only guy that can get their own shot besides Rose. And it's tough to see. I don't know. I'll start with you now, Kowski. Just answer my question and then continue. Was Rose in the starting lineup for Game 2, or was it a Game 3 thing where he was inserted?
Game 3.
2.
It was. I think it was Game.
No,
I was thinking Game.
No, you're
2.
right.
Okay.
You're
So
right. That's when they just stopped playing Alfred Payton.
Yeah, Alfred Payton has gone donuts these last two games. Derrick Rose playing a lot. But yeah, Nowakowski just. Is this one over? Because it seems like when the Hawks are just getting in transition, hitting their shots, Knicks can't score on them, and the Hawks hitting their shots now. It seems like a very lopsided match.
Look at Trae Young had less than 30 points in games 3 and games 4, and they won by double digits. John Collins, he shot over 50% in games 3 and games 4.
He made fun of him.
I know. He's played a lot.
I was like, he's disappointing. He's like 22-piece. Watch.
When you have Gallinari dropping 21 points, like
taxi driver haircut.
highest paid bench player of all time.
When I saw that mohawk, I was like, bro, it's Martian Gortat out there. But
the Polish hammer.
But yeah, the Hawks are just hitting their shots. And yeah, Randall struggling. Derrick Rose dropped 30 in the L. But hey, Trae Young said it. I'll see you in the A, and it was all Atlanta, and I'm very glad I picked the Hawks in this series.
Yeah, so I picked the Knicks just because I'm like they have the coaching advantage, and I think they're a little better defensively. And hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. Well, they put Nate McMillan, and the talent is working 28 and 12 so far, and Clint Capella's getting 4 blocks a game. So it's very hard to if you're the Knicks to do anything. Game 2, second quarter, they win the second quarter 29-13. And then on Sunday, they win the third quarter 35-22. They're going on these quarter runs, and they're just putting the Knicks to bed. It's curtains. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Yeah. Rhodes, I forget who you picked, but I can trust that you'll be
7.
You had Knicks in 7.
All three of you had the Knicks. All three of you had the Knicks.
So what's changed from your initial expectation from the Knicks and what you're seeing?
I kind of just fell into the media dell about it, but I underestimated the Hawks a lot. I was concerned about their defense. I was concerned about Trae Young handling the MSG arena. I don't think he's a villain because he simply refuses to be the leading scorer after game 1. But if he wins that 5th game in MSG, I think he can go down as a villain for sure.
We're gonna have our 6-player fan interaction. He's gonna get more than spit on.
He can be one of the little side villains that you get before you get to the bosses, sure. But Randall hasn't found his touch. Tom Thibodeau finally decided to play RJ Barrett more than 10 minutes a game. And voila, his confidence came around and he started putting the ball in the basket. No Emmanuel quickly, but 18 minutes of Obi Toppin in game 4. His rotation.
Quickly played 13, 0 points.
His rotation has just been confusing, and Reggie Bullock was just in the game when he shouldn't have been. I don't know why all of a sudden Tibbs is I'm not going to play Obi just at all in the regular season. Here a playoff guy who literally stumbles over his own feet on defense. Yeah, let's play him 18 on John Collins. Let's do it. Why not? You make John Collins look good. It's absolutely disgusting that I get that Randall's struggling, but at least Randall has some sort of IQ on defense. Obi Toppin looks so bad. It's Michael Porter Jr. rookie year. It's so bad. It's
so bad on offense too. His offense has been.
That's not Obi's fault. Tibbs does not know what to do with him. There's a reason he didn't play in the regular season. Tibbs puts him in the corner pocket 3, and he's airball. I want to gouge my eyes out.
Don't play him. Then don't play him. Put someone else in.
Right. So Lehman, wait, you have the standing bet of like LeBron excuses if the Lakers lose. What's the time frame if when Spike Lee leaves in Game 5 if the Knicks are losing? Like, is it halftime? Is it fourth quarter?
Spike Lee's gonna have a heart spike in the middle of the game if they start losing. He's gonna have to go to a hospital.
First quarter,
I don't think he can handle it.
First quarter is plus 1,000. So if you put 100 down, you win 1,000. Second quarter, at the 4-minute mark, is probably 625. If you come back third quarter and he's gone and like he left during halftime, that's even. That's pick 'em. Third quarter and fourth quarter, anytime during the second half, that's probably plus 200. I think it happens. Honestly, I would not bet against it. I think he leaves because I think I know MSG likes to get bumping. There's just too much talent on this Hawks team. I mean, they win this game by 17, and Bojan 4 for 11. I mean, Hunter 2 for 7. It's because guys they have guys like enough. They do their job. They score 200 points, and it won't happen. But Gallo 21, John Collins 22, Trae Young 27, going 4 for 14 from 3. They have too many guys to stop if you're the Knicks.
Wait! I just want to say that Lehman spent what was it, a month and a half at the beginning before the season. How are the Hawks gonna feed all these guys? They're gonna just struggle. They're gonna have too many bodies. Oh my gosh! Oh no! They're gonna struggle because of it. Now look at them. They're up 3-1. And you know what the issue is? Too many people to stop. That's crazy. How the world
Cam Reddish isn't playing. He was a starter. They traded Rondo for Lou Will. Rondo would not be okay with 10 minutes. Lou Will is. Big O, they're not developing him whatsoever. And Gallo's the most expensive bench player of all time.
You said that would be an issue. They're up 3-1 against the Knicks.
It's right working, now. I know, but there's still a lot of mouths to feed. It's just working.
I
can admit when I'm wrong. Nate McMillan figured it out. God bless him.
I'm excited for Capella and Embiid matchup.
I can't wait for Embiid to score 30 and 15 on him every night. That's going to be so fun.
Or hey, don't be talking smack about Capella, bro. Don't be talking smack about Capella.
Capella played
say whatever I want about Capella.
Draymond Green. That's the only competition Clint Capella had to go against. Rudy Gobert and Draymond Green. Clint Capella plays Joel Embiid twice a year for like the last decade. He's getting throttled.
We'll see about it in the series.
Everyone's saying that Clint Capella carries this defense. DeAndre Hunter is goated. This man is so good on defense. And then they put in Kevin Huerter in there, Kevin McAllister, whatever you want to call him. He starts like doing dirty fouls and stuff. They got John Collins yapping in Julius Randle's head, and it's working for some reason. Julius Randle's an all-star.
DeAndre Hunter is doing that. John Collins just talks, and DeAndre Hunter plays the defense. It's the funniest thing in the world.
Well, and then Taj and Reggie tried to do it to Trae, and it didn't. No.
Taj Gibson should not have a Knicks basketball jersey. He might be worse than Obi Toppin. I'm not gonna lie.
Taj is playing well.
He's not. No, he's not. He's Andre Drummond of the New York Knicks. It's so bad.
Whoa.
I might agree, but the Knicks don't have an Anthony Davis, so he kind of earns his minutes there. Andre Drummond's earning his minutes on the 13th seed Cleveland Cavaliers. He has a spot in the league.
Does your prediction change at all knowing that they're up 3-1? Because I think that the farthest the Knicks can take it is 6, because it's going to be really hard for them to win that 6 game.
There's no way they're winning in Atlanta.
I'm going to keep my prediction the same with Knicks and 7 and do it like a 3-1 type thing. It's a very long shot, but I'm going to stick to my word. But I wouldn't be surprised if Hawks go to just take it at the end of 6.
I mean, I feel like I could do the cool thing where, all according to plan, I had Knicks in 7. It series isn't over. I had Hawks win 3 games. They won 3 games. But just they've shown me too much. They have the Trae game winner, then 2 double-digit wins. And the Knicks barely won that game, too. This could have been a sweep. It really could have been. I've seen too much from, guys like Bogey, Danilo. And, I mean, if Trae plays like he did in Game 4 and doesn't get the help, because, I mean, he was doing the thing that I love what he's doing. The three's not falling. Dish it. Drive. Do Trae things besides pull up for half-court threes. In Game 4, he was kind of chucking them, so he kind of got bailed out by his teammates in the defense. But I just don't think the Knicks have enough offense to really compete with this squad. I really don't.
What's crazy to me is this is a 3-1 series, and it still has been the best series. Like, this isn't a series I think it's been the most entertaining series.
I don't think so.
Really? Okay. Fair enough. I've really, every game has been like, the energy's been crazy in the arena. the talking back and forth has been it's been a lot, and I've just found every game, even when the Knicks or when the Hawks are up big, there's always something going on, and there's always just been entertainment.
Can that brings me to another point. Can the big name channels that host these games, can they move the microphone in the arena? It still sounds like the bubble on TV. I know it's loud, but because Mike Breen and Jeff Van Gundy are talking that goo goo gaga garbage, I can't hear the crowd in the background because they're like 10 rows back. You hear them for like the first quarter, and then it just sounds like the bubble, like the PA volume's at like 80 and the broadcaster's at like 120. It pisses me off. I don't want to hear Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah, Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy started talking about who would win in a family feud, and then Jeff Van Gundy wanted to trade his daughter for Mark Jackson's daughter, and it got weird. It got really weird. And then finally the Lakers started going on a run. They're like, oh, basketball, this is sick. All right. And they started talking basketball too. But yeah, speaking of that game, let's move on here. It will be fun talking what the Knicks do this offseason because Randall's a free agent. Then they got to extend Barrett. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, Suns and Lakers enter the weekend in a best-of-5 series on their hands. It ends up being a best-of-3 as Lakers take Game 3 on Friday, and the Suns return the favor and regain home court advantage on Sunday, tying it up 2-2. First to win 2 games wins. Let the best man win. First thing I'll start with here, it was a day and night game. It's now the Lakers' turn to kind of weather the storm with their star out because as Chris Paul looked a very, very good Game 4, and I could tell that because he was shooting jumpers for I think he had taken like 0-3 since his shoulder injury. He took, I think, 4 in this game. So he was playing very well. And AD goes out at halftime, groin, I believe contusion or something like that. George isn't here.
Groin strain grade 1.
Okay. I will say I'm not George. I don't think that's a day-to-day injury. I think he will be rushing back. He will not be 100%. But they need him out there, especially. I mean, this is not a normal first-round series. It's a best-of-3 series now, and they need this Game 5 probably. I'll just start with, Rhodes, where do you stand on this one? You had Lakers in, I believe, 6. I think we all had Lakers in 6. You and George, Mickey Mouse changed it last second to agree with me in Lakers in 6. So
I had it at Lakers in 6 to begin with, but I wouldn't be as surprised if it went to 7.
Where do you stand as far as, is this how you thought it was going to go?
No, because there's been some unexpected turntables. I did say Thursday when they played Game 3, AD played probably his best game of the series, and Chris Paul struggled the most. And I said if Chris Paul is not able to come back and play more than 30 minutes, they're not going to win another game. Unfortunately, the complete opposite happened. Anthony Davis goes down with an injury, and they kept this game competitive in the first half. But at the very end of that first half, AD gets hurt. I feel like when they came back, they absolutely got suction cup. The only player that would look really like ready to go was LeBron. Even he wasn't playing as good of defense as he should have been. And you said, yeah, Chris Paul looked like he felt good. Even though he didn't make any of those threes, they were going up. Another bad performance for Devin Booker shooting-wise, but he keeps getting bailed out by the best player on the Phoenix Suns for this series, DeAndre Ayton. Doesn't miss, continues to prove the point that Andre Drummond is too much of a liability to stay on that court. Oh, my gosh. Someone get the man
He's in there for rebounds. DeAndre Ayton, 17 big body boards.
DeAndre Ayton did a spin move and dunked the ball on Andre Drummond. I was like, there's no reason for DeAndre Ayton. I have high respect for the guy, but, like, come on, man. And the Lakers weren't hitting their shots. I know we talked about, like, if the Lakers offense aren't rolling, how good can they be on defense? Man, no Anthony Davis, so it's kind of hard to judge how they would have been in that second half if AD is normal, but he did not play a great first half. And then defense sucked. They were putting up bad shots, Kyle Kuzma included. It's going to be a rough game. Going to be a rough Game 5 because it looks like there's a lot of pessimism in the fact that AD will play. I think he will probably be out for Game 5. So LeBron's gonna have to put his big boy pants on and steal one in Arizona.
KCP needs to play Game 5
desperately. Yeah,
KCP needs to make a basket.
But
in Game 5, not play, make a basket.
I agree with that, but we missed him on defense. He is. I
have 14 from Devin Booker.
No,
Wes
but
Matthews is
the
playing good
defense he
D.
plays off of the bet. He would switch on to campaign. He is a good defender. Look at Kyle Kuzma on defense.
Oh, don't talk Kyle Kuzma. Don't do that to me. Don't do that.
I'm sorry.
We have Wes Matthews, Schroeder, and Caruso to talk about on defense before we get to Kyle Kuzma. Kyle. God damn,
But I will agree, Wes Matthews is a bit more of a big body than KCP. He doesn't go off of those screens well. So you do have a point when Campaign, Chris Paul go off those screens. Wes Matthews can't handle it as well. But I think playing Wes Matthews on Devin Booker did wonders for the Lakers. That was probably one of the bright spots for them. But I do agree that KCP probably needs to be in there for situations like that.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about Phoenix first, then we'll talk LeBron, what he did. He's done this series, what he's going to do this series. He's the half hooper already. He's got outside noise coming in. He fits like a glove. Starting with the Suns. AN not aggressive, but 14 and 17, 6 for 8. This dude's a monster. He's absolutely insane. Booker struggled. He struggled almost the whole series besides game 1. Game 2, he had the scoring numbers. Mickey Mouse, 17 free throws, made all 17 of them. Game 3 did not play well, and then this one 5 for 14. CP3 when he's out there, the other guys get going. Jay Crowder was horrible this series. He was doing more. I think he had more words said than I think minutes played because he was talking too much. He wasn't shooting enough. This time he goes 6 for 12 from the field, a lot more aggressive, and he kind of hit that dagger 3. And then Campaign continues to show out, and then Miles Bridges hit his shots too. Is this? I mean, I don't know where I want to go with this, but what have you seen from the Suns here? And can you see it continue? Are we going to see a game 5 where just Jay Crowder 1 for 8, Miles Bridges can't hit it, or Mikal Bridges can't hit his shots?
Bridges at home.
Yeah. Josh, I'll start with you. Or Rhodes. Oh, they're both Josh.
It's LeBron James. It's so hard just to count LeBron James out. This will be his first round exit ever if he loses. They can't say that about Michael Jordan, but you can say that about LeBron James. Never gone out in the first round. I still have money on the Lakers and LeBron. This might be one of those 2012 game 6s where he just 2016 game 5s where he's just got to pull one out. Like, I think he's got the team to do it. I think Kyle Kuzma needs to play 10 minutes for it to happen. I think this really needs to, this can't be like a Frank Vogel and LeBron work in unison. I think Vogel needs to kind of understand that, like, at this point in the series, like, as great of a coach as he can be, LeBron's kind of gonna have to be the guy to call the shots. And I feel like he is, but I mean, like, more so now. And as long as they play great defense and LeBron kind of gets that crowd bumping, because there's some LA fans in Arizona.
Yeah.
I think they can definitely win game 5. They really have to capitalize on defense, and they have to capitalize on the difference, like stops, I should say. I couldn't think of the word.
So, great points by Rhodes. Nowakowski, we talked about, putting on his big boy pants. LeBron has looked bored in this series. He's taking it like a joke. He's throwing lobs off the backboard. He's getting mad when people aren't doing, like, double lobs to him. So, like, Kuzma play where he's upset at him for doing that, for not throwing the lob at. LeBron just seems like he's taking this as a joke, but it's 2-2 now. And he's not playing a lot of defense. He wasn't in the game 2 and 3, but game 4 he was just not there once AD went out. I'm scared because it seems like he's taking this as a joke because he didn't take the Suns seriously. And 2, I said this as a joke, but he has a lot of built-in excuses to say if they lose. Oh, AD was hurt. My ankle's hurt. We're the 7th seed. How am I supposed to be?
Savannah wanted to go to LA. I wanted to go to New York.
Yeah, this, that. Yeah. So Nowakowski, swing me or agree with me. Suns might take these next 2. They might if LeBron doesn't put his head on straight.
Okay, LeBron's going to put his head on straight, though. I feel like he is. So I think what I want to see from LeBron in game 5 is I want to see him drop 40 and have like 3 assists because no one's hitting their shots. I will say this, though. You saw the shooting get better at the end of game 4. Caruso started hitting some threes. Wes Matthews.
White Wolf, Marc Gasol started hitting.
Okay, Marc Gasol, he hit some threes, but his help defense was, oh my gosh. I mean, the help defense in general was awful in game 4. And also, they need to get back on defense. I don't care if your name is LeBron James. You need to get back on defense because, honestly, it's just shoot around. That game was shoot around for Phoenix. I mean, it was 5 on 3s, 5 on 2s. I mean, of course, LeBron takes plays off, and he's been doing that for a while. But when Dennis Schroeder does it, I haven't seen that from him all season. He never does that. And when he did that, I was like, okay, we beat ourselves this game. I don't think we can do that. And also, the defense, I mean, of course, LeBron takes plays off, and he's been doing that for a while. But when Dennis Schroeder does it, I haven't seen that from him all season. He never does that. And when he did that, I was like, okay, we were in this game and then we had 2 bad possessions and decided, okay, game's over. Like, why go back on defense, get a stop, and get a bucket? So I think we're going to see a angry LeBron James in game 5. I don't think Anthony Davis plays. I think he gets KCP back. And I just want to see LeBron be aggressive and get in the paint like he did in game 3. Just get in the paint, draw some contact, hit your shots, and if your shooters are shooting well, give it to them. If not, I would rather see the ball in LeBron James's hand than Kyle Kuzma's than anyone else on that Lakers team.
Kyle, goddamn Kuzma,
dude, he's been irrelevant on both sides. I mean, he is dribbling the ball off his knee, hitting the side of the backboard. This guy has been awful, and
this is very half hooper-ish of you, Josh.
You're supposed to like Kyle Kuzma.
To just
I liked him too. He was playing good defense.
I love Kyle
during the regular season.
I love Kyle.
This series, he's garbage. He's useless. He deserves $6 an hour. He deserves half of minimum wage.
I wish that Vogel may have given Harrell more minutes or put him in earlier.
That's what we just.
You didn't like. Okay.
No.
Okay, that's fair. That's
Trez
fair.
does not have a place in this series. He can't guard Ayton, and we don't need him to post up Jay Crowder.
He had
simply
12
don't.
points in 15 minutes in game 1.
And we lost. So that's a Lakers win when they played Trez.
Okay, that fair enough. But I mean, he's doing better. He was doing more than Drummond this game.
At least Drummond can get you a few boards. Trez, he kills the spacing. I mean, I'm a big Marc Gasol guy. I think he should play next to AD.
I do like Marc Gasol, but Chris Paul was eating him up on pick and rolls.
Chris Paul will eat everyone up on on pick and rolls, which is why I don't know if the Lakers can win.
Play LeBron at the 5,
like Nick Batum.
Like Nick Batum.
He got caught on Ayton a few times, and I think Ayton missed one of the layups, but he made the other. So I don't know.
Schroeder,
well,
like KCP, Wes Matthews. I don't know.
Well, Rhodes is spitting here. I'm gonna get him on a topic he wants to talk about. We're gonna segue here. Celtics and Nets, last the teams to play twice this weekend. Celtics did the unthinkable. Won a game.
Don't say unthinkable.
I wasn't able to watch Game 4 because I tried to watch it on my Xbox with the Spectrum app. It was blurry. It wouldn't work. And I tried to do it illegally. It wouldn't do it. I got too many ads about Asian singles. And I was like, I'll go to my gym. I'll watch it there. They'll surely have basketball playing. No, Hunger Games Mockingjay Marathon on TBS on all the TVs at my gym. So I simply did not watch Game 4.
No Chad?
No Chad was on. It's not my other friends or Chad at that gym. But no. Or Wipeout with John Cena. But a little off topic. They ran out new Wipeouts. They started playing classic Wipeouts. Ran like a 4-minute mile. I was so motivated. It was sick. John and John were doing old Wipeouts. Oh, classic. Back to basketball, though. We'll start Game 3 because this is one series in that we're covering here. We're Game 3 and Game 4. Magic happened Game 3. I'll start with Rhodes. You said I'll let you on here. Tatum Fitty Burger. Tatum Fitty Burger.
It happened. It actually happened. I was so excited. I was wrong on I think Harden's going to struggle. Wait, I picked the wrong one of the big 3. I picked Harden. It was Kyrie. That struggled in Game 3. He had a lot of booing going on. Kind of just didn't handle the pressure well. And I was afraid that he was going to go to the press and be like, oh, this is blasphemous. They shouldn't boo me. I thought he was going to make it like some sort of thing that it wasn't. I thought he was going to take it way out of proportion. He shut his mouth and then scored 39 in Game 4. He simply
and then he got a water ball thrown at him. We'll get to that later. But
yeah. So there's another fan altercation. There's just been we just count them up. They're almost out of fingers on one hand. But
toes.
The Celtics basically played the same game. They was basically get Tatum on the worst defender possible through screens. And Marcus Smart kind of hang out in the perimeter and let Tatum do his thing. No Kemba Walker, no Robert Williams. No Kemba this game, and Robert Williams been out for both home games. So the Celtics are just wounded warriors who just simply won't go away. The Nets did change the way they played. I saw a lot more of Harden playing a playmaker role, as you can tell by his 23 and 18 assists on Game 4. It was not only was it not a lot of his turn, my turn in this Game 4, but it was a lot more of just they kind of let Harden do whatever on offense, and Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving were just in the right place, right time. You didn't see a lot of Kevin Durant holding the ball and running around and like ISO playing. He got the ball, quick move, bucket. And that's kind of what the Nets have to do. They really have to simplify their offense. They have 3 of the best scorers in the league right now. You don't really need to make too much pressure. Whoever's open is open. And they got it done. They just outscored the Celtics. Not really too much defense in either of these games, as you can tell from Jason Tatum's 50 and then 40. But, the Nets are going to beat you on offense. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. So, I had the Nets sweeping. I mean,
the Nets in 6. So I need Boston to win this game 5.
You really do.
I had Nets in 5.
Okay, so Nowakowski, you are good. I'll say it. I said it last time. I said we're going to be talking about that the Celtics have a successful season on this Sunday/Monday pod, and we're not. So I'll say it now. On the Tuesday night pod, we will be talking about that the Celtics have a successful season.
I hope the Celtics win, man. I hope.
Nowakowski, have you seen what you wanted? Because it looks like you're going to have the correct prediction. Nets in 5. Did you predict the Tatum Fitty burger, and that's how they're going to get their dub? Because that's what I said it would have to happen.
Oh yeah,
I just didn't think it would happen.
Well, I mean, when you also have Tristan Thompson dropping 19 points, you're going to win that game. I mean, just look at Game 3 and Game 4.
He's played good. I'll give him a little pat on the back. Just played good this series.
I mean, Game 4, Game 4, the man had 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting. I got to shout out our guy, Jabari Parker, dropping 10 points in Game 4. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, the big 3 for the Nets, dropping 103 in Game 4. That was absolutely crazy. But on the Celtics note, I mean, the second you lost Jaylen Brown, you just knew, like, all right, whoever they play. I mean, we talked about them not even getting out of the play-in. I think we'll say with these circumstances of injury, it was a successful-ish season. But next year, the expectations are going to be a lot higher for them. But the Nets, that offense is going off right now. It's looking scary. It's scary hours.
Yeah, so I'll start. We'll kind of close with the Celtics thing here, and then I got one question for Rhodes since he's the Nets fanatic. Although I think he has Philly in the finals, so I don't really have a Nets fanatic, so he's got to play the stand-in part. But yeah, Celtics are fighting a lot more than I thought they would. They lose Brown. I don't have to make it out of the play-in. They win the first play-in game, get the 7 seed, and then they lose Kemba for Game 4. It's tough for them, but they're really fighting, so you got to give them props there. Romeo Langford, he's starting. It's crazy. But yeah, to take us home here, Rhodes, this is the first time, or not the first time, but like first 3 games in a row we're seeing this big 3 play. What have you seen from their chemistry on the court? Because I know they love each other off the court, but their chemistry on the court. And what do you think is the formula for this? Is it the Game 4 where you just kind of have Harden go, all right, 18 assists, and I'm going to score 20 there too?
So Harden only shot 12 shots. So he went 8 of 12 this game.
14 for 20 the first game, the Game 3 one. So he can do whatever he wants.
Harden's the only net player that hasn't had a bad game so far in these playoffs. Josh, I'm sure that makes you feel fantastic because Harden's playing.
Just wait till he meets Milwaukee.
Yeah, I can't wait. Oh my gosh, who are they going to put on? Pat Connaughton? Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Drew Holiday.
I mean, what I was afraid of, and what we saw in Game 1 and 2 was the it's his turn, my turn type of thing. You kind of mentioned that, and that was kind of I mean, like, while that's a good formula, it's not a winning formula. It's going to lose you games, and it did. Game 3, Kyrie was taking shots he probably shouldn't have in the fourth quarter. They probably could have stole that game where Tatum had that 50 bomb. But a big part is the Steve Nash changes the gameplay. He didn't change it on defense. He probably should, but he didn't change it. He just changed the offense. He said, you know what, like, one of you is going to have to take a back seat and start filling up stat sheets somewhere else. Harden did that. Harden is their point guard. They've made that very clear. So is Kyrie. And he's filling that role, and I think that's their winning formula. If they're going to do it, I think Harden he's probably the second most intimidating threat on that team behind KD. I would rank them.
I'd
KD
put him first. I'd put Harden first.
I mean, shoot, you can even put him first. Like, he's right there. And for him to be the guy that passes, it's just somebody that you can never leave unattended. And Harden has, I guess, great court vision because he had 18 assists. It also helps when you have Joe Harris and a bunch of other guys that know how to put the ball in the basket. I think that's their winning formula. Harden just being the offensive threat that he is, but becoming a pass-first guy. And that's kind of what he lacked in Houston. He kind of felt like he had to do too much because shooters weren't making their shots. Now he's got shooters, and they don't miss because one of them's Kevin Durant. So I think that's their winning formula. I think that's how they're going to keep rolling, and I think that's ultimately how they beat the Bucks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really counter anything there, except the whole Bucks thing. Just to end us off here, I'm watching the game on mute in the background. Just two things I want to mention about Harden. He's got some nice shoes, and he's got some tight-ass cornrows. Those things are glued on.
He's got the little hanging dreads that like drip all over the place. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, they're on tight. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think we'll be talking about.
It'll be a very that arguably, if the finals matchup is weird, like whoever comes out the West is weird, that Nets Bucks series has potential to be the best playoff series in the entire playoffs, without a doubt.
Yeah. And Nets have home court advantage, so they'd get Game 7. That'd be fun. No, Kowski, anything now?
Spike Lee's gonna show up for Game 7.
Did you just want to say no, Kowski?
Oh no, Rose hit it on the nose, but playoff Harden. We'll see what happens with Harden. We'll see what happens with it. He's been playing good.
If he wins Finals MVP, man, we're gonna have a long summer of James Harden talk.
Oh my gosh,
man. It's funny though. Rhodes loves Harden, and he hates Westbrook, and they're the same. They do the
one of them is down 3-0. One of them down 3-0.
One of them is KD and Kyrie Irving.
Harden, Russell Westbrook also 2 of 10 Game 2. And got ejected.
You know what? I was gonna say that for the last one.
They don't do the same thing.
I'm not saving it for last. We're gonna talk Wizards Sixers. We're gonna do it now. To end off the recap, no, I gotta change my notes here. So third to last game. The Sixers, Joel Embiid completely bully them. They bullied the Wizards. They kicked their ass. It was embarrassing. Game 3 saw Paul Reed and Isaac Bonga getting minutes. The whole fourth quarter was Mickey Mouse. The whole fourth quarter was Mickey Mouse. Sixers blow him out on the Wizards' home court. The game I had the Wizards getting 132-103. I don't know what to add here. It was going to be the last game for a reason. It sucked. This is the worst series we have. And now I got to talk here and spew BS.
Because Russ got a triple-double and lost?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Russ got a triple-double. That means they're going to win. That's not how it works. It's a team game.
I've never said that.
You were saying it in the Canes parking lot last night. You wouldn't shut up about it. He had a triple-double and they lost. I don't have time for this. I don't have time.
That's crazy. How he just inflates his stats. Simply, that's how it's done.
They simply won every single quarter by 6 or more. The Philadelphia 76ers did. All 5 starters, double digits.
Dunked so hard on Daniel Gafford.
Joel Embiid, 14 for 18. No, that's not his free throws. That's his field goals.
More steals than Russ.
More steals than Russ. Who's counting the steals?
I am.
26, 12, and 10, and he's over here to. Oh my gosh! All right. Well, this is. I'm not going to say you're going to defend Russell Westbrook. It's not working out. This series sucks. I don't know how Joel Embiid has never scored 36 in a playoff series, but this was his playoff career high. This Philly team looks dangerous, and I mean dangerous with that capital tenacious D. I mean, is this series over? Is it a sweep, Nowakowski?
Yeah. I mean,
it's not Wizards are going to win.
When you have Tobias Harris dropping 20, Seth Curry more than 15. Look at everyone who
Danny
started.
Danny Green's making 3.
Yeah, Danny Green hitting 3-pointers. I mean, I think their lowest was 14 points out of the starting lineup, which was Ben Simmons. But I mean, this Sixers team is just bullying this Wizards team. Also, if the Sixers somehow win the chip, Anthony Tolliver, he's going to get a ring. Woo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We on it.
So is Chris who's that? Rajon Tucker. He's going to get a ring.
Yep. So. Gary Clark.
Gary
Clark.
Gary Clark was on the Magic to begin the year. Look at him making moves.
I mean,
I guess the one thing I would like to say here is that they have kind of backed away from the Furkan, Mike Scott rotation that they've had on the bench. They have they've had a Tyrese Maxey, George Hill, Dwight Howard, Matisse Thybulle type rotation. They kind of keep a starter in there. I'm a big fan of it because it simply looks like the Sixers don't lose that much. Like the starters come out and the bench comes in, the momentum's still there. We don't have any of these guys that are like one-dimensional, like Maxey, George Hill. They're super high-scoring guards. Matisse Thybulle is the greatest defender of all time who plays under 20 minutes. So Felix scary, and this is kind of part because the Wizards are just simply not built for the playoffs. Said this at the beginning. They snuck in.
What do you mean they're not? Because they have Russell Westbrook, they're not built for the playoffs?
No. They're just not built for the playoffs in general. They're not built for the playoffs in general. Like just their team, the way that they have it is just not built for the playoffs. They don't have Thomas Bryant either that we've constantly talked about. But this team just doesn't look like they're ready for the playoffs. And then they went and played the best team in the East.
The Wizards have Ish Smith playing 20 minutes. That is not a playoff.
Ish Smith is a bucket.
Ish Smith is a bucket. I don't want it. You're the half hooper. You made me move on. I'm tired of this series. All right, Blazers and Nuggets. They only play one game this weekend. But if you're a Blazer, I'm sure you're okay with that, as they beat the Nuggets in Portland 115-95. This was a weird game. Dame and Jokic, dog doo-doo. It was hard to watch if you have either of those guys' jerseys hanging in your closet. But I mean, Portland just really took advantage. I think they won every quarter. They won every quarter except the last.
Is Gary Trent Jr. scoring 29 on 73% shooting?
He's in the gym working on his craft. And what are you doing? You're hating. So I don't know why Gary Trent Jr. made his way into this. But yeah, Rhodes
he made the team worse.
Norman Powell, 29 points, 11 for 15. Dame 1 for 10, and Jokic, to get to the exact number, 7 for 18. So he kind of turned it around there. The whole Nuggets team struggled. This is what happens when you have an offensive juggernaut versus offensive juggernaut series. So when one team's in, one team's not, it gets lopsided quick. So 2-2 here, 3-game series. I'll start Nowakowski. What was your prediction? So let the people know, and then has it changed?
My prediction was Nuggets in 6. It has changed. It is. Man, but I don't think they're going to win Game 7. I want to see. I still have the Nuggets, but I just.
They're not winning Game 7. CJ simply won't let it happen. No, he won't.
The Pepsi Center has PTSD of a Game 7 against the Blazers.
My prediction. I'll take the Nuggets, and I'll whatever Game 7. Sure, they'll win in 7. Whatever. But
you don't seem like you believe in yourself.
I do not believe in myself at all, but it's okay because I'm just going to keep my pick. But Nurk having 17 points in this game, I mean, this offense was going crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Dame has 10 points, and they win by that much. Like, I mean, that was insane. Josh's guy, Michael Porter Jr., took 3 shots. Do we want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about it.
Josh, Rose, do you have anything you want to go deep on besides Jokic didn't play well, Nuggets L, or do you have anything else you want to talk about really?
Yeah, I mean, I think JaMychal Green should get his flowers because the Nuggets bench came out with intensity. They went down early in the first quarter, and the bench came in. They went on a big run, and honestly, they probably should have stayed in longer. I guess the one I'm not going to harp on Nikola Jokic's bad shooting night because he had a bad shooting night. Dame did too. Dame had 10 assists. Joker, who we praise on his passing game, won. It was a lot of because they were just missing open shots, but at the same time, at some points, he was just kind of throwing it up, trying to get himself cooking. Never cooked. He was still frozen. Michael Porter Jr. looked very passive. A lot of the shots that he had the opportunity to take, Robert Covington, I don't know what Robert Covington was saying to that man, but every time he got the ball, normally it goes up and it goes in. He did not shoot the ball. Robert Covington was saying stuff. Best game from Norman Powell we've seen probably all season. Simply did not miss ever. And the Blazers were just finding the right people at the right time, and they just were getting it rolling. They hit the shots they were supposed to. They took their time. They got a decent bench help, more notably just like defensive logging minutes rather than just scoring, and that's why they were able to blow the game open, especially in the third.
Yeah, so since you took the deep dives, I can actually just say Jokic struggled because Mike Malone did some good coaching. The bench came with energy, like Rhodes said, and when Jokic was struggling, he was giving Jokic those easy, face-up middies that Jokic always knocks down, just weren't falling. And then also, they didn't lose the assist battle by too much, and lost by 4, so the ball movement was still there. Kudos to Mike Malone. But yeah, it was hard. You really miss Will Barton in this game as a guy who can get his own shot and stop a guy like Norman Powell from getting 29. Nowakowski.
Oh, I just want to say, and it wasn't just I know that's Michael Porter Jr.'s Rhodes guy, so I just wanted to bring it up. But Aaron Gordon also
wait for anti-vaxxers game 5, man.
I mean, Aaron Gordon was passive on offense too, and I think Lehman, you brought up the good point of Will Barton, a guy who can create his own shot, and I think they were waiting for Jokic to pop off, but they weren't being aggressive on offense, and it just wasn't a good game for the Nuggets. I think if Will Barton, if he's not playing in game 5, you're going to need Michael Porter Jr. to be aggressive. You're going to need Aaron Gordon to be aggressive. And you're going to need Jokic to have a better game, obviously, but you need the supporting cast to be more aggressive on offense.
Yeah. I mean, Rhodes, what did you have for the series?
Blazers in 7, and I'm going to stick to it.
I'm going to stick with that too. I believe I had Nuggets in 5 or 6. I hope it's 6 because Nuggets in 5 literally cannot happen. But I know I had the Nuggets. I think it was 6. But I'll. If I didn't, who knows? What are you going to do? Sue me? What?
I'm looking at my prediction right now just to make sure because I think my original was, let's see what it says. I had Denver in 5. That's cool. I had Denver in 5. That's cool.
Let's move on quick before. I want to take that was gross. I'm going to move on. Jazz Grizzlies link up for another exciting 1-8 matchup. The Jazz have now won 2 in a row since Spider Mitchell came back from his injury. Final 121-111 in Memphis. One thing I was right about, I had Memphis winning. Didn't happen. Those fans, though, 15,000 JJ Butters with music to my ear in the FedEx Center. Being a host has made me memorize every single stadium. So, yeah, the FedEx Center is where Memphis Grizzlies play. I'll start with Nowakowski here because it seemed like the game – I'll go right to you. It seemed like the game kind of turned. It was a close game. Dillon Brooks fouls out as he does every single game. You're a big Dillon Brooks guy. And it seems like I think the Jazz won. It was a 14-2 run when the Dillon Brooks fouled out. Not unlike the Warriors game where it was a game the game for the 8th seed when they played him and Dillon Brooks fouled out. Steph Curry started cooking. And Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley started cooking at the end of this game. So is it that simple? Dillon Brooks fouls out and game kind of turns?
I do think it's that simple because, I mean, he is your best perimeter defender on the team. And when he fouls out, I mean, the offense just seems to go a lot. I mean, when Donovan Mitchell's going to go out, whoever's guarding him, no matter what. But as soon as Dillon Brooks fouls out and he's got, either Ja or Kyle Anderson on him, he's going, okay, I can get into the paint and kick it out, or I can create my own shot off this pick and roll with Rudy. And it was a tie game, and then Memphis started missing their shots, and the Jazz just got hot. Really, it's just that simple of what happened in that game. And Mike Conley, he had a good game, 27 points, 8 assists. He had a great game as well. But, this Jazz team has responded really well after losing game 1. I said that the Jazz would lose the first game of the series with no Mitchell, and they would lose the first game with Mitchell back, but that didn't happen because, it just didn't happen. But yeah, the Jazz, they, as soon as they saw Brooks get off the court, I think it was just they knew that they were going to get better looks on offense, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, I think I said the Grizzlies had one game after Don Mitchell comes back, and then it's curtains. Like they got to. So yeah, it essentially ended up being they have to win that game 2 when Mitchell comes back, and they don't. And now Mitchell, I mean, he only goes 9 for 23 here, but he looked pretty solid. He doesn't look like he's hurt at all. It's just an inefficient game from Donovan Mitchell.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, Josh, is this series over? Rhodes, is it over?
No, it's far from over. The Grizzlies put up a good fight. I think they have a good chance of winning any of the games that they have. But again, keeping Dillon Brooks in the game is super pivotal. Yep. I did say that I needed to see a Donovan Mitchell game, like a regular Donovan Mitchell game before I was confident. 9 of 23, 39%. I'm still going to take the Grizzlies have the better backcourt for as of right now. I mean, Ja and Dillon Brooks are kind of like the sole reason that they're still in this series. I definitely think they need to win one in Memphis. I think that game 4 is absolutely crucial because I don't think that they win another one in Utah. But yeah, they definitely got to take advantage of those JJ Butters in the crowd. I think just the key for them is not it's keeping Utah out of the game when they go on those runs, because Memphis has some pretty big runs and they just let Utah creep back in because of the 3-point shooting. If they take that away, they can stay ahead of Utah the entire game. I think that's where they got to focus on for sure.
See, this is probably the first game I think Gobert won the matchup against Valanciunas, and it kind of showed in the fact that the Grizzlies really struggled on offense. They scored 111, but the field goal percentage was not there, 43% to the Jazz 49. You guys both hate Rudy, so I know I'm just talking to myself at this point, but I just want to put that out there. I think he had a good game, 4 blocks, 7 for 8. 14 boards.
I do
Mickey Mouse, but okay.
No, what's funny though? Okay, so Rudy outplayed Valanciunas, but the Grizzlies had 20 more points in the paint than the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Jaren Jackson.
Yeah,
Slow-mo.
no, I
didn't say Rudy played spectacular.
Rudy Gobert doesn't
I
know how
said
to
he
go
beat
down
better
Valanciunas.
than
fast.
Valanciunas. I'll give you that. He played better than Valanciunas that game. I'll give you that.
Well, word up, blend it there. I win. Now it's time to preview Monday and Tuesday. Rose, do we have George's picks? Did he
We
send
do
them
have George's pick, and I will read them off. We'll read off all of George's, and then we'll see where we disagree.
Or actually, no, let's just do George's as we go. So
Okay,
just don't get
sounds
like
good.
lost in
I have
translation.
them.
I have them pulled up too,
loaded
so
up.
we'll both do them. Okay, so Monday, TNT, Ernie and the boys. 4 o'clock, Sixers Wizards. Is it done? Is it done?
Bye, Russ. Yes.
I'm the only one that has the Wizards winning this game. Okay, word up. George, Sixers sweep. I like how George went specific for Monday and Tuesday, and then for Monday and then Tuesday just put the winners of the game. He got tired, I guess. But
Bless his heart.
yeah, bless his heart. After that game, 6:30, a game I'm very excited for. Pivotal game 4, contrary to what Magic Johnson says. Jazz Grizzlies 6:30. What do you got, Nowakowski?
Give me Dylan Brooks and the Grizzlies.
No, Jazz are taking this one. Jazz in 5 is looking very, very smart on my end.
What you got, Rhodes?
Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to hit one of those stupid 3-pointers, going to hit off the glass, and I think the Grizzlies tie the series.
So me and George have Jazz up 3-1 by the next pod, and you guys have an even series. I hope it's an even series, because then Donnie Mitchell's sweating. Quinn Snyder's hair gel is like running down his face because he's so
Rudy
nervous.
Gobert is still only eating baguettes and doing.
No, Rudy Gobert is really, really good. So on Tuesday, TNT again, Ernie and the boys. We got a doubleheader. 4:30, Celtics and Nets. Who you got? Rhodes.
I'm begging for that Boston win. I'm begging, y'all. I think the Nets will. For my prediction, because I did do this with the Heat, and I did do this for the Heat. I'm gonna take Boston. I think they steal one. It's very unlikely. I know it's very unlikely, but I think Boston steals one, and then I think the Nets put them away in TD.
Nowakowski.
Nets are winning this game.
Yeah.
So me, Nowakowski, and George have the Nets. The smart guys have the Nets.
Y'all are the smart.
Like I said, Nets in 5.
Y'all smart guys thought the Boston Celtics would get swept after game 2. Forgot the Jason Tatum fitty burger.
Okay, so what happens this time? Why do they win? The Marcus Smart injury game, or he
no, he's the Marcus
rails Kyrie, and he
Smart plays like Marcus Smart.
He's going after KD. He's going after KD.
Marcus Smart plays like 47 minutes.
He's literally their Reggie Bullock. True story. Blazers Nuggets got put on NBA TV. Yikes! I can't believe that they did that to him. But it's an even series. We'll start with Nowakowski because Josh is arguing with, I think, his girlfriend. 6 o'clock, Blazers Nuggets. Nowakowski. What do you got taking the lead?
In Denver, give me a bounce back game from Jokic. Porter Jr. is going to take more than 3 shots, I hope. Give me Denver.
4.
Josh. You're both Josh Rhodes.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Nuggets too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So does George. I'm a swerve then. I got Blazers.
Wait till we all.
It would completely ruin my Nuggets prediction. Completely. Especially if I had him in 6 and I still have a chance to.
You are doing the half hooper front running right now.
Front running. I'm making an educated opinion. I didn't change my prediction. what it was. I'm just saying there's new information. If Aaron Rodgers gets traded, are you still going to say he's on the Packers? No, you're going to say he's on the Denver Broncos. It's just new information. You're not going to – you live in the past.
He's on the Falcons.
Last game. Lakers Suns. I know who George has. He has the Lakers.
Give me the Mickey. Give me the Mickey in the army. Give me the Mickey.
Give me a LeBron 40-point game, LeBron and the Lakers.
We simply can't get it all right. There's no way that the Lakers win when we all four pick them. So just for the good gods and the fact that LeBron goes down 3-2.
You are simply the reason they're going to lose.
He goes down. Mickey goes down 3-2 a lot more than you would suspect. He does it a lot. He's not a game 5 guy. He's a game 6 guy. Come on, your breast stank.
Come on. In the first round, come on. Man.
I got the Suns, and I had
all right.
But I have Lakers and all
right.
There it is again. Oh my God.
I got both of them. How about that? I'm gonna come on Tuesday's pod with my chest out because I got it right. Because I'm not picking a side. My head hurts. I'm gonna call it. I told Rhodes it'd be a less than an hour pod. He's got to go watch whatever the hell he's gonna go do. But yeah, thanks for watching or listening to tonight's episode. If you like what you're make sure to follow us at THOopers, Instagram and Twitter. Drop a comment or respond. George, I believe, is still on his phone. He's sending me, I believe, 8 snaps in the past hour of him doing legal activities. So, I mean, he's not caught lacking without his phone. Yeah, so he's not caught lacking without his phone. He'll respond. I think he's posted on Twitter again. I missed the Instagram post last time. I'll get it up for the 8 likes we get. 2 of them by Josh Nowakowski. But yeah, besides that, thanks for being an OG, and everyone take